Hey everybody, it's Missy bringing you another layout for the cut shop. Thank you so much for joining me again today. I'm going to be using 3 cut files. The first one is Doodle Dandy. The second one is an older set called Funky Florals. And then this is one of the newer ones called Hello There. And that's going to be my title. So I'm going to use these 3 small photos of my husband and our youngest daughter from a few years ago. And I'm using the Pink Paisley Memorandum collection for this. And Paige is wearing a light purple shirt. And so the purple in this collection inspired me to use it. And so I'm going to start off with the piece that I cut from the Doodle Dandy. And it's that brush stroke with the heart. And I just blew it up really big. And I'm going to use it as a piece to layer my pictures on top of. And I went ahead and cut Hi, Hey, Hello because that's going to be my title. I am going to add some messy factor to this, and so I'm going to start out with some white gesso, and it goes fuzzy here for a second. I don't think my camera likes when I do mixed media because I guess my hands go too fast. I don't know, but it clears up here in just a second. And I just want to white out some of the background because it's not a solid white paper. There's some little black polka dots on it. And I also wanted to get the paper ready for some of the gelatos and the water. And I'm just taking a couple of different colors of teal and light blue gelatos here. And I just want a subtle color on the background. I didn't want to get too crazy with this. But there is this really pretty light blue / teal color in this collection, and so I wanted to pull that out of the papers, and I didn't want to do purple on the background because I've already got that cut file ready to go, and it's a purple shade of pattern paper from this Pink Paisley collection. And so I spent a little bit of time going back and forth trying to get just the right amount of background color on there, and I didn't really use a whole lot of water. This is a technique that I do all the time. A lot of people do this technique. It's very easy, it's very fun, and you can see the fun watercolor look that you get from using the packaging. Alright, so I got that done. I'm going to give it a zap with the heat gun just because I'm impatient and I want it to dry right now. And also, a tip that I've found to keep your paper from warping a lot, flip it over and dry it from the back as well. Now I'm going to use some of my Shimmers products, and this is a spray. It's a colorings, and it's called Well Blue Me Down, and it's a very, very pretty teal color. I use it quite a bit, and I just want some subtle spots going throughout the page here to match that background, or to match the gelatos on the background. And I just use a napkin to just kind of dab it. I want it to be subtle. I didn't want it to be really dark spots. And so I just kind of play with it until I get it exactly like I want it. And the nozzles on the bottles of these shimmer sprays are curved. And so they make it really, really easy to do splatters like this. And that's the base of my design right there, and my photos are just going to fit right on top of it because I always like to add pattern paper behind my pictures as layers, and I thought, hey, I'm going to use that brush stroke. And this is a pretty old, well, not old, but older cut file. So it's definitely in the shop, and there are a lot of different ones on this one cut file, so check that out. Now, I love this floral paper, and so I'm going to add a wonky strip of it down to the bottom, and it is busy, so I didn't want to add too much of it, but I wanted a touch of all those flowers because I do use flowers throughout the page. And it's so funny because I've always said, you know, I'm not a huge flower person and I'm not a huge purple person, and I've used purple on a few layouts lately, and flowers too, so never say never. You never know what you may wind up liking, what you once did not like. And I think it's this collection. I've used purple before in this collection, and it just is pretty. I don't know, it just goes. I'm going to add some tissue paper behind the pictures there, and I like the tissue paper because it's subtle, but it gives it some texture and a little bit of separation from the background or the layers behind it, and it looks a little messy, yet not too much, if that makes any sense. It makes sense to me. I just like that. And vellum works in the same way as well. And I'm going to make the title overlap that first picture there. And I've already cut a couple of flowers from the Funky Florals. And even though these flowers are not the same type of flowers that is in the pattern paper, I don't care. I just wanted to use these flowers because I think they're cool and they're easy to color. So I cut them on white cardstock, and I'm going to rummage through all of my gelatos there. And I'm going to make a yellow one, a pink one, and a light blue one. And I'm just scribbling the gelatos on the paper, or on the flower, and using my little water brush there to spread the color around. It's very easy. And you could use your finger. You could dip your finger in water and do it that way. You could use a paintbrush. Lots of different ways to get the gelatos to spread, because they spread very easily. And I do not have any gesso or anything on these flowers. This is just straight cardstock. And that blue is a little light, so I'm going to add a little bit more of the shimmer's color to it. That's a good thing about coloring something yourself on white paper. You can change it up as many times as you want. You can add however many colors you want, make it as light or as dark as you want. And so I really like cutting things on white. And now I'm just going to decide where I want to put these flowers. And there is a little bit of pink in that floral paper, so I wanted to add in the pink. All right, so here's where I start to get stressed out. I had an image in my mind. I'm like, okay, I'm going to color this hey, hi, hello, and I want to incorporate all the colors. I want pink, yellow, and teal. And it looks pretty once I get it done, but when I put it to the paper, it looks awful. I wanted to pick up some of the pinks, a little bit of the teal, and it's by itself, it looks really pretty, and it's, kind of one color flows into the next, but on the layout it looked awful. It just didn't, it was too much. And you'll see here in a minute. I didn't cut this out because I wanted to show you that, one thing can look good in your mind, and then when you make it a reality, it's just not what you wanted. And I was bound and determined to make it work. So I do several things to this little cut file here. And it's not the cut file. I love the cut file. It's just the way I went about coloring it. It was not the reality of it versus the image in my mind. Two totally different things. And so I'm going to show you how I eventually made it to where I like it. So there are going to be tons of layers of things on this one little cut file. I'm going to put it through the ringer. See how ugly that looks? Well, I wouldn't say ugly. It's just, I don't like it at all. It looks too much like it should belong on a baby page. It's like all these really pretty pastels. So I'm like, okay, no, we got to fix that. So then I grab my white gelato, and I thought, well, maybe if I lighten it up, it'll look a little bit better. And let's do the test. No, that's worse. Yuck. Nope. Bye-bye. Okay, the fingers are drumming. That means I'm going, great. This is so ugly. What am I going to do? I'm not cutting this again. So I get out another scratch sheet of paper that has my latest order for origami owl jewelry. Yeah. So now I'm going to take some, I have an idea in my head to make it silver. I don't know why. And it wouldn't spray. So I just cooked the whole thing in tinsel. It's Heidi Swap Color Shine in tinsel. Yeah. What am I thinking? And it looks kind of cool. Now it looks kind of metallic. Let's put it on the layout and see what it looks like. Yeah, no. Now it looks kind of purpley and it blends in. Nope, not going to cut it. Yeah. Dry it off. Now I'm going to grab the mustard. Let's add some yellow to it and see what happens. At this point, I'm thinking, you just need to start over and cut this thing again. But I don't. I make it work. This time I dry it with the heat gun. And it's actually, by itself, it looks kind of cool. But on the layout, nope. So I take a break from that for a while. I'm like, okay, I have to put you down because I'm about to throw you in the trash. So I put it away, and I'm going to go ahead and work on some other stuff. So I'm going to come in with my light blue thread. And I know a lot of you are asking me to do a tutorial on how I do my thread, and I promise I will do that for you in real time. But I do add some tangled thread behind where my pictures are going to go. And I'm going to cut out my pop dot situation here because nothing more boring than watching pop dots. So I'm going to stick my pictures down finally because they've been moving around. And now I'm going to go back to this lovely thing. And what you didn't see was me try to coat it with some teal. So it's a different color now. So I finally decide to get some light blue paint and my foam brush and just paint the dang thing light blue, because that's the color that I finally decided was missing from that side of the layout. So I just dipped the corner of the brush into this old paint bottle that's almost empty and dried out. And I'm finally going to color it. And, you know, it's acrylic paint. And so I'm like, yes, this finally looks decent. I think. You may have liked it before. I don't know. It looked different on the screen. In reality, I just could not make it work to how I liked it. And so I finally am satisfied with this. And I take my little cutter bee scissors and that floral pattern paper. I cut out a couple of the little flowers that echo the flowers on the bottom. And now up in the top left, I have some yellow and some pink. And then I also have the light blue color. That's as happy as I'm going to get with that hey, hi, hello cut file. Whew, that was stressing me out. Anyway, so now I'm coming in with the washi tape booklet from this collection, and I'm going to add in a couple of hearts. And the heart that I have there now matches the pattern paper at the bottom. Then I added a cute little pink one down there to my lower cluster. And I did some stitching with silver because I think the gray tones in this just reminded me of silver. And I decided to go old school here with my embellishments and use some of my stash of buttons. So I grabbed a yellow one, a pink one, and a light blue one. And they're going to be the center of my little funky floral flowers here. And before I glue these two down, I do take some silver thread and I want to add a little silver touch to the middle of those buttons. And I cut that out because it took me forever. And I just did it with my hand. I didn't use a needle or thread or anything. I just looped some of the silver thread. So the centers of those buttons had a little bit of silver shine going through them. And then I'm going to cut up my foam here and pop up my title because my pictures are popped up. And so I needed this title to be popped up. Yeah, there's about 50,000 layers of product on that cut file there. But hey, I finally got it to where I'm not sick of it. I am going to add a little bit of a cluster at the top. I'm going to echo that pattern paper. It just felt kind of naked up there. I needed a little something. And then, of course, there's a purple piece of washi tape. So I'm going to pull that out and use it. And I think it says capture the everyday, capture today, something like that. And it's the perfect purple. And so I have to use that because I don't know how many more layers or how many more layouts I can do with purple. So I did add a little bit of silver stitching, and I'm going to come in with 2 flare buttons that I have from my stash from a Flare for Buttons. And I know it says hello. I have 3 different things on here that say hello, and I'm fine with that. And this is just a gray flare button, and hello is in white. And I'm going to add a little bit of tangled thread underneath that for an extra pop of the blue color up there. And then same style, same color down here at the bottom, but this one says best ever. And finally, yes, cover those pictures up. I'm going to add in some tinsel. This isn't the black color shine that I usually use. Since I've got a silver vibe going through here with my silver thread and the gray flare buttons, I decided to go with a metallic grayish silver spray there. And I'm going to add a little bit of the mustard just to draw out some of those golden yellows. And it's getting close to being finished. I do add my journaling, just a little bit down at the bottom, and the date. Oh, I also do add a little piece of the purple paper down at the bottom, just because I felt like it needed a little kick of purple down there, since now there's purple at the top, the middle, and the bottom. So all the colors are represented in all the clusters. If that makes sense. It makes sense to me. Anyway, whew, there's the final page. I really love how it turned out, even though that title gave me a fit with the mixed media situation going on. But anyway, let me know if you have any questions. Here are all the close-ups. I really love how the end result turned out. So make sure you visit the Cut Shop. There's so many cute cut files available nowadays. And let me know if you have any questions. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.